Hi Bean Beauties, Dee Dee Bean here. How are you doing? Well, you're here for the tale of two C's. Two C's. Two C's. And I want this to kind of be positive, and I'm doing this to help somebody else out there when they're shopping on eBay or anywhere. We all were under the assumption that shopping from Japanese sellers was going to be a safe thing to do because they have such strict rules in place, and that they can lose their license, they're more honorable, that that they really don't want any kind of issues or problems. You're going to have a bad seed anywhere. You're going to have a bad seed anywhere you go. And unfortunately, I got duped by a fake. Yeah, call it what it is a fake. But there are minute details, and a unexperienced eye like mine didn't catch it. No matter what I did to try to do all the signs, I didn't catch it. It was thanks in a big collaborative effort as far as watching out for each other between Yoda Style and Caleb Snell. And actually, Caleb and I have been going back and forth over this denim bag. He has this beautiful Coach denim bag that I've been looking for like 8 months. And I was talking to him about that, and now that the new denim drop has come out for Coach, I was asking him, do you think that bag is going to come out? And he said he really hadn't heard anything. And then, we were Instagramming back and forth, and I sent him a picture, and he said, oh, stay away from that one, that is fake, because that is just pictures off of the website. It's not pictures of the actual bag. And then I said back to him, I said, but it's a Japanese seller. And I don't know at that point whether he realized or not that it was a Japanese seller or not, if he just realized the fact that it was a fake bag. So I asked him, I said, well, school me, tell me what I need to look for, because I'm going to be looking for this bag. I want this bag, especially if it doesn't come out. I'm thinking that either people are going to try to unload more and get the new one, or they're going to, they're just going to appear, more, And so he sent me a little video of his and everything, and he was telling me what to look for and what I needed to watch out for, and why it was the picture, what the difference was. And I was like, oh, okay, I see it now. Now that you tell me, I see it now, but I didn't really see it before. And I told him, I said, oh, I just purchased a bag from a Japanese seller with the gold and black Coach that I've been wanting, but it was in the 26, and I've been wanting a smaller one, and they don't have it, but for the price point, it was really good, so I went ahead and got it. But I did talk to him and ask for, making sure that it was actually a real bag, and he pointed out himself, the seller pointed out himself, some irregularities in the bag, and the irregularities in the bag, I was like, hey, I'm okay with that, especially at the price point, if that's why he's trying to unload it, And his story was that it was a runaway bag, and that he had purchased it through their Coach to their Coach store. And he said that when the bag came in here, there's some indentions here where the chain goes, and he pointed it out, and he said the chain was folded over like this, and it was pushed down. Pushed down, and it was carried as a clutch. And so I saw that on the runway shows, and he said it was carried as a clutch, and so thus it created an indention, and that his wife did not like that she wanted a pristine bag, even though knowing that it was a runway bag and it could have some flaws, and so she was not happy. So he was trying to we talked about it and everything, and it was right before the Lunar New Year for them. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get it. I looked at everything. I thought I did my due diligence as I knew how to do it. And, it's in the middle of the night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm like, it didn't really dawn on me to reach out to anybody, because, I felt safe and comfortable with it. I had watched some videos. I had watched some other channels that had bought from Japanese sellers, were felt like they were reputable and everything, and so I felt comfortable with purchasing from them off of eBay. So I did it. So it had come in and everything. I hadn't unboxed it yet because I was trying to do a video and it was my birthday weekend and everything. So when I reached out to Caleb this past weekend, and when we were talking about the other bag, he said, well, show me the listing. So I sent him the listing, and eBay's changed the listings a little bit now. Used to, when you would purchase it, it would disappear and you couldn't go into it and see it anymore. But now they've updated that and changed that, so he was able to see it. Plus, I also sent him pictures. I had taken screenshots of it and I had sent him pictures. And then he said, you know, I'm afraid to tell you it doesn't look quite right. And one of the things that I thought he was worried about was the right here where the name was. And I said, you know, I know it looks blurry in the picture, but I think it has to do with where the indentation is because of the chains. And I told him, I said, it's really soft. It feels like the other one. Feels like the other Coach bag, you know, the one I just bought, the wristlet I just purchased and I just unboxed. I said, I mean, I go, are you sure? And he said, send me the pictures and let me study the pictures, because he didn't want to say anything and disappoint me. That was the biggest thing. He didn't want to disappoint me unless he was completely sure. So while he was doing that, something was just telling me, you know what, reach out to Yoda and see, because you know what hers looked like, because she purchased a 26 in this colorway. So she first sent me a picture of ones in her white, and I said, no, the one in the black. She said, well, they should be the same. I said, I know. I said, but I want to compare like by like. I tried to reach out to Autumn from Autumn Beckman, but you know, such a time difference, and we had already come to a conclusion by the time she reached back out to me, and she had sold the bag that she actually bought from the runaway. She had sold it, so I didn't have that. My wishful thinking was that maybe because they were in a hurry and getting ready for the runways, things might be a little bit different. That's why I thought, well, maybe that would be the case. And once they started pointing things out to me, I was like, oh, but it took my unexperienced eye, a little while to catch it. So I want y'all to look at this bag from the onset, and maybe some of y'all from right away. I'm also going to try to put in pictures of this and see if y'all can catch it. Okay, so here it is. So some of y'all can catch it right away, who are experienced Coach buyers. Some of you who are not experienced Coach buyers may not catch it right away. So here is the front of the bag. And then this part is let me come closer, is this part. So this is what they were saying, it was a chain, but here, right here, is what one of the concerns that he had. And then just want you to look at the hardware. And then here's a zipper pull here. One of the things too is that, and then here is the Coach tag. As Caleb was comparing to the website, the zipper was, and the zipper pull was a different color. It was, I don't know if it was silver or it was like, it was a different color. It wasn't gold. And I told him, I said, well, my tabby, my white tabby, it's in gold, and I know Yoda's picture is in gold, so I sent him. By that time I had Yoda's pictures in the black, and I sent it to him, and I also told him I'm looking at the white pictures of the white bag, and they're also in the gold. So even he said, oh, Coach photoshopped it or whatever they did, the pictures they put in there wasn't exactly what they were selling, you know, they were off. So then that alone makes it kind of hard to decipher whether or not you have a authentic bag or not. So did y'all think about it a little bit? They kept telling me it was the sea, and I thought, okay, is it the color of the sea? Are you sure it's not the pictures of the sea? And it's the sea. It has this little bar here on the sea. My eye didn't catch it. All my eye could see was the black. So when they kept saying it, I said, well, I see that it's a C. I mean, it doesn't look crooked. It doesn't, you know, I don't see. And finally, even when Caleb had said, look at the bar, I couldn't see the bar because my eye just couldn't see it. Now I see it clearly, as you know, clear as day. But you know, when I'm sitting there and I'm worried about it, I'm thinking, oh, the money that I spent on it and everything. I'm like, I don't see it. And then when I was talking to to Yota, because I was it was two different conversations going on, and this is in the middle of the night. By this time it was past midnight. I'm sure that it was past midnight, and in Central Time, I think Caleb's in Central Time. Yoda's an hour, at least an hour, maybe 2 hours ahead of me. So she had said, put your hand on it and feel. She said, now look at the pictures. You're not supposed to have that. Look at your bag. It's not supposed to have that. That's when she said, put your hand on it. That's when I said, oh, I see it now. This comes all the way around, and see, I didn't catch that. The grommets on the inside here, they look like the raised grommets here. And I saw that when Caleb pointed it out. I caught that right away. And then once he showed me the pictures of the website, he put a little arrow, and I saw that right away, comparing it. And I was like, oh, okay. But that was when I thought, well, maybe because of the runway, they didn't have time to finish it out, because that has happened before. I used to watch Project Runway all the time. And that they were just trying make it work. Tim Gunn said, make it work. So I thought, well, maybe something like that had happened. The story patch, though, the story patch is just like my bag. It's my authentic bag. It has the right numbers and everything. Caleb had compared that. So did Yoda. That was correct. The zipper was correct. The smoothness of the zipper and everything was correct. The everything on the inside was correct. It has Coach on there, and even the lettering is really close. I after I saw the other ones, I didn't go back and compare whether the lettering here is the same or not, but it says Coach, and the lettering looked close, looked close enough. Caleb said, in my opinion, you need to get your money back, and and I told him, I said, well, by the time I went back and looked, and the seller did take exchanges, and I told him, is it bad of me that I just want to keep it? Part of me wanted to keep it because it was so soft, and the leather was soft, and I know that the leather was soft, and he never answered me. He never answered me on that one. And part of me was that, and part of me is, y'all know how much I hate to return stuff. I hate to return stuff. It's difficult for me physically to get out and do all that kind of stuff. So he had said, Dee Dee, you really need to do that, and you really need to report them to, report it to eBay. And then he asked me if I had paid through PayPal, and I said no, I had used my card and everything. But he said, go through they're going to tell you to go through the vendor first, but you definitely want to make sure that eBay is aware of it. And I said, okay, that's fine. So that's where he and I had left off. He apologized to me, and I'm like, you don't have anything to apologize. I'm the idiot who bought it, because that's how I'm feeling in the middle of the night, So then he had texted me one little text later that he had found a couple of other bags that were fakes, that he said they're clearly fakes, that he could see clearly that they were. And I'm like, great, I hadn't bought any other ones, except I had only purchased one other bag, but it wasn't a Coach bag. I talked to Yoda after that. Then I was talking to Yoda, and she said, where did it get mailed from? So I had sent her a picture of where it got mailed at. And then when my husband had come in, and I said, what is this writing? What does this writing say? He says, that's Chinese. And and she said, see, she says, it could have made it saying that it made its way to you from China, not necessarily from Japan, because I can say I'm from Japan, and I can mail it from somewhere else. I can mail it from New York or what have you, So my assumption, and after Yoda had kind of looked at it, and we looked at it, to me, it looks like that it was a vendor from a different country posing as a Japanese vendor, but mailing it from coming through China. So when so I'm like, I feel like that's kind of what happened to me. I could be wrong, and I don't have, I don't have any proof, and I can't show you anything because everything has my address on it, and my personal information, and credit card stuff and everything. So I can't show y'all any of that part of it. But that's my supposition, is that that's what could happen. We could be wrong too, because we don't know really, we haven't been schooled in Japanese and Chinese, so we could be wrong. We could be wrong on that, but but that's kind of what our feeling is as far as is where it was really mailed from. So I told Yoda the same thing. I said, this is what, I feel like I don't want to, why do I feel like I want to keep it? And then she said, well, that's a decision you have to make. I can't tell you one way or another. I go, well, if I keep it, it's not like I'm going to show it on my channel or do any of that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that, And she said, well, you have to ask yourself why you're going to keep it, Dee Dee, because she knows me. I don't want to return anything. And I was like, I know it's a lot of money. And she says, yeah, and you could get something, you already know that the denim drop's coming out and there's something that you really want on there, you could put the money to good use. She said, you have that you're kind of holding out for to see if that comes in. You have the denim drop that's coming in. They have some shape bags that are coming in that you really, really want. You're going to have this money tied up. She goes, but I can't tell you what to do. And I'm like, I know you're right. I know you're right. And I know she was right. And deep down in the pit of my stomach, I knew it's just that means I have to approach the seller. That means I have to approach eBay. I have to do all that stuff. And I'm not a person who is necessarily afraid of confrontation. I've never been that way, because I don't look at things at confronting things as far as in a negative way. I don't look at it as confronting as a negative way. I look at it, let's deal with this issue, deal with the problem. It's just because I'm like, I'm a novice at it, and I felt like crap, She also said, maybe you need to do a video about it. And I was like, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just, because I felt ashamed. I felt ashamed. I felt taken. I felt like you're so stupid, and everything. And so I said, let me sleep on it and see what I want to do. So in the middle of the night, what I did do is I did request a refund, because, and then I had sent her a picture of what the choices are and asked her, what do I select? And so she told me which one to select. And then I submitted the pictures, and I put in there what to write. She told me what to write, because she goes, there's a place to put in there. This is the best thing that fits it, of what you need. And then it'll ask you for a description. So once you get to that screen, put the description in and then attach your photos. And so then I did. I sent it to them. And immediately eBay sent me an email, and said that they had read the issues, and that they were giving the seller until the 24th of February to make it to make the correction, make it right for you. If they don't at that time, to please contact them on the 24th. Or the 25th, they said the 24th, by the 24th, to contact them, and they will intervene and make sure that this serious issue gets taken care of. And I'm like, okay, so it could be a form letter, I don't know, but it felt like it was tailored to what I was experiencing and why I was wanting to return the product. So I think it took maybe 12 hours, because I'm guessing that's like a half a day's time from when the sellers on where they're living at versus where we're living at is. And so in about 12 hours later, pretty much when I woke up, they had said that they had accepted it. So by that time I had already sent a copy of my submission to Caleb and to Yoda, and said, thank you very much. I was able to sleep on it a little bit and think about it a little bit. So I'm at least submitting for that and doing the first steps about it, and that eBay contacted me, and this is what I have to wait for eBay. So there is a good, they're happy, I'm waiting for the return instructions of what to do. So Caleb said you shouldn't have to pay for shipping, you shouldn't have to pay for any of that. It's not your not your fault, you don't make you pay for that, especially where it's going back to is a lot of money. So I got the return label finally about 18 hours later, maybe. I got the return label, and I have until March the 2nd or 3rd, I think, to put it in the mail. and it's going to mail back to them FedEx, and it has a tracking number already, so that means that I don't have to pay anything. That means they took care of the shipping. I just have to wrap it up and send the product back to them. Once they receive it, then I will get my money back. And that's where it goes. And they told me the amount that I'm going to get back, which is the amount, you know, the amount that I paid plus the tax that I paid into it. So it feels like this is close to resolution that I could get to at this point and to share with y'all. I had reached out to Yoda, and I told her, you know, I want to wait and see if, you know, before I do a video, if I decide to do a video, I want to get a little bit more information, because I just want to say, hey, this is, I was stupid, this is what happened, you know, whatever. And then once I got the confirmation email with the label in it, I reached out to Caleb and I said, hey, Caleb, can I let them know that you helped me? And he said, absolutely. And he goes, I'm thinking about doing a video about this whole experience and about Japanese sellers and everything. Do you mind if I mention your name? And I said, no. And this was my reasoning why I want to name who helped me, and I don't mind him naming me, is because of the generosity that both Caleb and Yoda, with their time, took out of their time, the generosity of their kindness, the generosity from their skill set, what they were imparting on me with their experience with buying a luxury item, a coach item, a higher end coach item. You know, not only telling me, hey, I think this is not a real Coach bag, but why? What do you need to look out for? Okay, so now that we've discussed that, these are the things you need to do. And they both were walking me hand in hand and step in step, you know. And it was really nice because Caleb was telling me and Yoda was telling me, and they were saying the same thing, saying them, you know, and I say different languages, you know, because they explain differently and everything. So my brain, both sides of my brain, was able to absorb it, especially since my emotions were in the way that night, you know, that night. And when I got duped and I got the fake of the Dooney and Burke, which was, you know, it was a pretty penny. I mean, that was like about 100 something bucks. I didn't, you know, Caleb told me you could still go on there. I said, well, she doesn't take returns, and this, it doesn't matter. But I didn't. I sat on it and I didn't, because I felt stupid, you know. And I learned what I learned, and I did a video on it. Y'all can go watch the video. It's what happens when you get a fake or something like that, you know. And so I use that as a learning experience. But this was like, you know, this is like almost a year later, and I still made a mistake, but it was with a different brand, a newer brand that I'm just venturing into a little bit more on you know, into it. And I was so honored at the fact that how they treated me. They didn't treat me like I was an idiot. They didn't treat me like I was stupid. They genuinely were worried and upset for me. And, you know, they both have their different opinions about pre-loved and where you get pre-loved from and where you can buy stuff pre-loved from and everything like that. And I listened to both of them, you know, and I'm going to take a little bit of both and then decide what Dee Dee wants to do, where she wants to move forward as far as buying any more pre-loved and a little bit the higher end pre-loved situations. On a Dooney, I can tell, and then plus I have my rule, you know. If that tag is not in there, I don't care if it's cut in it, if it's you know, because back in the day when they used to send the bags to the outlet store, Dooney used to cut the tag in half. I don't even mess with those. I know they're genuine, they're supposed to be genuine, but I don't. I want a pristine tag in it, and that's it, you know, because that is my stress point reliever. That's where I can go, you know, when I'm purchasing a Dooney or a vintage Dooney, anything like that. If it doesn't have that, then I pass. I've asked people before, I said, hey, you know, I'd like to see the inside of the bag and a clear picture of the front and the back of the tag, and then they never respond to me. I don't go for that bag, you know. So I don't know. After this video, we are sitting on Wednesday the 21st, which is the day after my birthday, the evening after my birthday, and I'm recording this. So I'm going to wrap this up, and then I'm going to take it. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so hopefully I'll call FedEx and see if I can call FedEx and have them come pick it up, and do it that way. And then I'll let y'all know once I get the money back in the bank. So I guess too, if you see something that's too good to be true, then I guess it's too good to be true. The price point that I got this at was, they're selling for $550, I believe, at Coach, and this one was $299, $300. Well, and he was asking more. Actually, originally he came down a little bit for me. He was asking a little bit more, like $350 or something. So he knocked off $50 off of it, and so it was $299. So all in is $324.74, and that's what my label says that I'm supposed to get back into my bank account. To me, it didn't feel and seem that off because of the fact that it had problem areas that he pointed out. He said, make sure you look at the pictures, and I did. So I felt like, okay, that was very honest of him, to point that out. And at the price point, that was why, and that his story sounded legit, that his wife didn't want it because of that, and so he's trying to recoup his money, just what he paid for it, so that or just around what he paid for it, so that he could get her what she really wants. And the conversion money between what's supposed to be Japan and the US money and all that kind of stuff, I don't know all that kind of stuff, and the money that I got on my end is a little less than what they did. I'm thinking now, I think I looked it up, how much it was, but it was close. It wasn't close to where they're what do they have, yens, I guess. It didn't seem too off, $200 off. I've known friends who have lost that amount of money when they're just trying to offload something because they want to move on, they want to get it out of their thing. So it didn't feel like I was getting a fake, like it was a fake. Now, if I see that, I know, but like I said, my mind's eye didn't see it, and I didn't catch it because even now, looking at it in the viewfinder, I don't see it. I can't see it just looking at it this way unless I move it around, and then I can see that bar on there. And because my eye isn't looking for that. But let me tell you what, my eye will be looking for that on Tabby from now on. We'll be looking for that. I'm on here to share with y'all, just to be careful. If you have any doubts, find somebody that you can reach out to, find an authenticator, or somebody that that can authenticate, get involved in some groups, join Caleb's Discord, and when you join his Discord, then you can those are a little bit more of the benefits and stuff. Caleb and I felt like we've have built a rapport, and everything, even before he started to Discord. And when he first started talking about that Discord, I said, yeah, I sign up, I'll pay. So I've paid since day one for his Discord, and I also pay the Discord for Super Jacob. I watch them and do that. I've also, when Winnie, I'll send her some super chats. I've sent super chats to Jackie. So when I have the means, I'll do that, because they're my form of entertainment. I don't have cable. I mean, I have cable, but I don't, we've cut that back because we like to watch what we're watching on YouTube. We have premium, so we pay the premium versus paying for some of the channels on our regular cable. On our regular cable, we cut that out. We pay the premium so that we don't have commercials, and then I pay my, I pay the creators who I feel like I want to do something a little extra. I wish I could do everybody, but they're the ones who have moved forward. I've supported Autumn. I've bought a product that I love off of Autumn, and that's part of a business that she's building. And then also the Planner World. I used to be on Patreon for the planner community, and I paid monthly for their Patreons, and I did all that kind of stuff. So I try to support the 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 creators, because they're creating content that I want to see, that I'm enjoying, versus the trash that's on TV. So with doing that, if you join Caleb's, then there's an opportunity to where he has more time, because he spends some time in there. He has more time to say if something comes up, he can do that. He can do that. And be able to, there's different layers in there that you can discuss certain things for, and they can help out there in there with that. But I the bottom line for me, what I've learned, okay, what I've taken away is one, you're never really safe. You're taking a chance no matter what. Two, at least I know this is a 26 and I don't feel like it's too big. I would do a 26, which is not good for me, because that means it's a higher price point. But if the occasion arose, I would buy a tabby 26 now. I would now. So that's a positive by having this. Most important positive that came out of it was just the friendship that I experienced from Caleb and from Yota, watching out for me, being there for me, gently, gently at first, walking me through the loss of finding out that, hey, you've been duped, and let's try to fix this for you and everything, and so that's kind of the best part of it that could have happened, is that being on YouTube has afforded me those relationships. Caleb, even before I was on YouTube, he would always respond to when he had time. He would respond to Instagrams. He would respond to little comments I put on the Instagram. The comments on his videos and stuff, always on there. He did his lives. I would, comment and be on there on his lives, and he would always, try his best to talk back on there. Yoda's the one who encouraged me to get on YouTube. She was the first one who said, "Hey, you need to get a YouTube channel." I'm like, "You don't even know me, lady." And here we become, really good friends. And that has been a huge blessing. And that alone has made this whole experience worth having to walk through, because you're never too old to learn stuff. Everything can be a life lesson. And I always look at it as, how can I take this? I had to walk through something pretty crappy, and how can I take this to impart into, normally would be like my children. Well, now it's, how do I impart it into my viewers? Say, okay, this happened to me. I'm embarrassed by it. I feel stupid about it. But you know what? We're all in the same ocean. Some of us are in the same boat. Some of us are going through the same things, as far as, where our experience level are with purchasing and everything. And since I am a big thrifter and big pre-loved buyer, I also want to tell you, you have to beware. You have to beware. So, and even as careful as you are, and if you find something, then you find a way to safeguard yourself and find a way to make it right. So luckily, eBay has their policies in place, and the seller doesn't want to get into trouble, so I'm getting what I need back, and eBay is watching out for it. So it's like, eBay's like the principal of a school. They can't be watching every single little thing, and it's our responsibility to let them know, hey, this is what's going on. Did you know this is what's going on in your school? And then at that point, if eBay decides that they aren't going to intervene, or they decide they're not going to do anything, then okay, then they're a bad principal. But if they are going to do something, then we have to give eBay a chance. Will I stop buying on eBay? Because Yoda's like, don't buy anything on eBay. Don't buy anything on eBay. And the platform itself, I don't think it's bad. I think it's a great opportunity for those who are trying to sell, because I know a lot of people who try to sell off of that. And for us people who are trying to buy, you just have these rotten eggs in there. You have to keep out for. I think what I'll do is I'll definitely buy Dooney off of there, and I definitely buy Vera Bradley because I know that those, you know, I know those. There are some of the other things I will run by the people that I know that are experts in that field, in that particular line, or the fashion house, and kind of run by them more than I have been. But I probably still will buy, but probably not right now. I'm probably gonna get myself a little bit of a break. Coach is coming out, has come out with their denim drop, which y'all know I love denim. The price point is way better than LV. There are some pieces that I'm hunting in there that I'd like, and so I'm going to divert my attentions to that. And then that kind of after that, I have plenty to show y'all, plenty that I've purchased, and I have some collabs coming up that I've purchased items for the collabs and things that we have done. So I have plenty of content, and I'm just going to kind of sit back for a little while and just kind of wait on what I'm going to do. Give myself an emotional break because I felt like crap. I feel better now, being a day out or so, and after finding out that, you know, everything goes right. I won't believe it till I have the money in my bank, you know. But I'm grateful for that, and at least this part of it is working out. So I guess the takeaways is make sure that if it's a high dollar item, an item that can be counterfeited, that's highly counterfeited, make sure that they take returns. If they don't take returns, make sure you take pictures and screenshots of the listings and everything, because even if they don't take returns, if they're selling you an item that's inauthentic and they say it's authentic, then you have recourse with eBay to do that. And don't be afraid. You know, don't be afraid to do it like me. You know, I mean, well, it's not so much to be afraid. It's just because I'm like, I didn't want to like go through it and the embarrassment of doing it. But, you know, you have to do it or these people aren't going to learn, or they're still going to do it, you know, but hopefully I'm saving somebody else. So keep an eye out for this and this on eBay. If you see it, then report it that it's a fake, because I'm going to be looking out for it. Once I send it back, I'll be looking out for it to see if he listed or not, and see where we go. But thank you very much, Caleb Snell. If you don't know who he is, please go over there and follow him. Give him a like. Tell him I sent you. Tell him, at least go over there. He's going to be doing a video. Hopefully, I think we can coordinate his video about finding fakes on eBay through Japanese sellers and what his opinion is now on that. Go over there and watch that video, and let him know that I sent you over there, and just kind of see what he has to say, because he's going to have a whole different perspective of stuff and a whole bunch more educated perspective of it. I'm giving you the emotional perspective of it and going through it in the emotional aspect of it. He's very much left brain person who will tell you more of the education stuff, where I'm just like, I see it, I like it, I buy it, and I got screwed. You know, that kind of thing. Yoda Style, go over to Yoda Style. She's a sweetheart. She also knows her business. She knows about her coach and her LV and her higher end. Go over there, give her a like, comment, give her a hello, tell her I sent you. And subscribe to her. You know, they all want to grow. They're bigger, much bigger channels than I am, but you know that they're genuine people with genuine hearts who are out there, aren't just to make a buck on YouTube. They're generally out there looking out for fellow creators to help each other out. And that is such a beautiful, beautiful community that I have fallen into. And there's a small bubble that I'm enjoying, and I that's this bubble space that I'm enjoying. There's outside the bubble, that's these bigger creators that I don't even watch or care to watch, because there's lots of drama and stuff. But the little bubble that I'm in, that I would comfortable in, then I highly recommend their channels. And just wanted to get my final goodbye to y'all and say thank you very much for coming by and to see my channel, and thank you very much for supporting the other creators who helped me out, and thank you very much for just being there for me. All right, Love you, babies. Bye-bye.